Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set and Horus Heresy. I'm your host as always, and as you can see I've got a day out with my two uncles today, which is fantastic, so I'm joking. Anyway, we have been joined by John, who we've seen recently. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be back. Thank you very much for having me again.
My pleasure. And all the way from Denmark we have Kim. Good morning.
Good morning.
Really awesome to have Kim here. Not only has he got a fantastic army, he also has tons of amazing boards. I'm a big admirer of your stuff that you produce as well. So it's a bit of mutual kind of thing now, which is great. But you're in England for 4 days, you lucky bloke.
4 days, yeah.
Oof. We are giving him the full treatment. So we had dinner last night at a nice English kind of pub, didn't we?
Yeah, it was great.
It was alright, eh?
Very good food.
Good steaks, they were alright. And then we're all off to Warhammer World tomorrow.
Yeah.
For a bit of fun, a few games, some beers and some food. And then today we've got a fantastic game between Ultramarines and Sons of Horus.
Yep.
Really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Now, I've got so much to talk about, so much to do. We'll start with Sons of Horus first. Now, obviously you're an Iron Warriors Mechanicum man.
Yep, yes indeed, and soon to be Night Lords.
Yes.
I have, for this game, borrowed some Sons of Horus from James.
Yes.
I'll be using the Black Reaving Rite of War, and seeing how I get on with an unfamiliar legion. Should be good fun. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, and the key thing is, Kim, you wanted to play a Centurion style game, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we've got a ton of troops. Maybe Leviathan doesn't quite fit the remit of Centurion, maybe, I don't know.
And Democles, but
we're close.
The Leviathan fits. It's a 0 to 1 choice, I think.
There you
go. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your Ultramarines.
yeah, my Ultramarines was What can I say? I did a lot of conversion work. The suzerains I did redo and did a lot of conversion on to look a little bit better than Forswall did.
They do look fantastic.
And I like to do a lot of things on the base and do something else some no people do. And I did some Locutarus Storm Squad too.
Yeah,
because they haven't done it yet. So
yeah. It's a spectacular looking force, and Miles for Little Legend has done the painting for you, hasn't he?
Yeah, most of it, yeah.
Yeah, most of it. So it looks absolutely spectacular. So we're looking forward to seeing that.
It is a stunning army in the flesh, amazingly converted. I think every model there has got a conversion of some sort, and the painting is incredible. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing's not so much converted is the Assault Squad.
Sure.
Well,
but they still look pretty good, though, right?
Yeah.
You've got a converted Vexilla in there. They look fantastic. Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting. You've got this the deep sort of sea green and black versus the bright, brilliant blue of the Ultramarines. I think it'll look quite good on the table. And we've gone for a bit of a city fight board as well. So tons of troops. There's going to be a lot of manoeuvring around that city to get into the best positions with each other. And the city's quite drab and quite grey.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll amplify the colours.
I think that's going to be look great with all the colours for the armies. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it'll be great. And you're both running fairly elite lists. You know, you've both got a Contemptor each. A Leviathan. Yeah. But the troops you've gone for are quite elite, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 almost bare bones tactical squads, but I've got a lot of Catalan Reavers in there as well. 10 Just Daring, which is terrifying prospect.
20 wounds.
20 wounds of Just Daring. Yeah. Hopefully they'll be joined by a Primus Medicae at some point in the game. Praetor, fairly bog standard.
Sure.
Praetor. Yeah, it's a nice little list, which should have a nice punch to it. And
I was about to say that it's compact, but it's got a lot of punch.
Yeah, and there's with the Rite of War, the Just Daring can deep strike. The Reavers, being Reavers, can outflank. They get fleet on the turn they arrive, so should be quite a nice manoeuvrable and responsive list. Yeah,
and I would say the same thing about yours, Kim. You've got a lot of jump troops as well, so you're a very high mobile force, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, about 3 of my units is jump, the Guitarist Storm Squad, and the 2 Assault Marines. So. And
you've got these fantastic characters to bolster your units, and some lovely characters around the front here to I imagine you've got a chaplain in there, I would have thought. Is that right?
Yeah, I got the chaplain here.
Yeah. So he'll boost the rerolls to attack on the charge and things like that, won't they?
Yeah.
But you also got support from Damocles as well, so you've got a barrage come down, haven't you?
Yeah.
Might help to clear out some of the Terminators, maybe.
Hopefully, yeah. If they're not deep striking or something.
You need to whittle that squad down to half before you charge it, I think, because if not, you're going to get chopped up.
But I have 20 Suzerains, so maybe they can do a job.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, suzerains, 20 suzerains will do a job on pretty much anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in action.
That auto wound onto hit of 6s at AP2 is fantastic, and you'll get in there before those Terminators, and well, same time I guess, but it's to have not have to roll the extra to wound dice afterwards. So it's quite a nice touch. But the mission we are playing today, we are playing Dominions. There'll be 5 objectives up for grabs in that on that table, and then we are playing Clash of the Line, which I refer to as the pointy one. That's kind of lovely. So the two armies have got to work really hard to get into position, and don't forget you're scoring those objectives on the first turn as well. So the tack squads will be fantastic for that.
Yeah.
We always talk about tack squads on the channel. They're such an invaluable resource for scoring you those points because the opponent has to deal with them.
Yeah.
And 10 wounds is a lot to get through.
It is, yeah, and there's quite a lot of cover on that board as well. I mean, I can potentially keep them out of combat for a while, hopefully. So it's a useful setup and a useful match, and it should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. I think it'll be a great game.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it. Let's have a look at these lists, and then we will see you at the beginning of turn 1.
2,496 points of Sons of Horus, using the Rite of War, the Black Reaving. It is led by a Legion Praetor. He has the Warlord trait Combined Assault. Leading the spear tip for the Sons of Horus are a Legion Praetor, equipped with Cataphractii Pattern Terminator armour, a Volkite Charger, a master-crafted Paragon Blade, and digital lasers. Next up is a Legion Centurion. He is a Master of Signal. He's equipped with a Volkite Serpenter, Chainsword, and Power Armour. Finally is a Legion Centurion who is a Primus Medicae. He's equipped with Cataphractii Pattern Terminator armour, a Thunderhammer, and a Combi Bolter. The first elite's choice for the Sons of Horus is a Contemptor Mortis Dreadnought, equipped with 2 Kiri's Pattern Assault Cannons. Second elite's choice for the Sons of Horus is a Rapier Weapons Battery. It has 2 Rapier Carriers, both equipped with Laser Destroyer Arrays. Rounding off the elite's choices for the Sons of Horus is a Justerian Terminator squad. This is comprised of 10 Justerian Terminators who are equipped with 1 Chain Fist, 9 Power Axes, 2 Multi-Melters, and 1 Combi Melter. First of 3 troop choices for the Sons of Horus is a Legion Tactical Squad. It consists of 10 Tactical Marines. The Sergeant is equipped with Artificer Armour and a Combi Plasma. All Marines have additional combat blades. Squad also includes a Nuncio Vox and a Vexilla. Second troop's choice for the Sons of Horus is a second Tactical Squad, equipped identically to the first. Third and final troop's choice for the Sons of Horus is a Reaver Attack Squad. This is allowed by the Sons of Horus Rite of War, the Black Reaving. Waving his hands around in the air like he just don't care is a Reaver Chieftain with a Plasma Pistol, Power Fist, and Artificer Armour. The remaining 4 Reavers in the squad are equipped with Bolt Pistols and Power Fists. First fast attack choice for the Sons of Horus is a Reaver Attack Squad, consisting of 4 Reavers and a Chieftain. The Chieftain has Artificer Armour, a Power Axe, and Melter Bombs. The remaining Reavers are equipped 3 with Chain Axes and Bolt Pistols, 1 with a Melter Gun. Second and final fast attack choice for the Sons of Horus is another Reaver Attack Squad. The Reaver Chieftain is equipped with Artificer Armour, Plasma Pistol, and a Power Fist. The remaining 4 Reavers are equipped with Chain Axes and Bolt Pistols. Finally, rounding out the Sons of Horus is the heavy support choice, which is a Leviathan Siege Dreadnought Talon. Featuring 1 Leviathan Siege Dreadnought, he is equipped with a Siege Claw with Melter Gun, a Leviathan Storm Cannon, and 2 twin-linked Volkite Calibers.
And this is the 2,500 points of Ultramarines led by a Praetor with the Warlord trait Child of Terror. Ultramarines HQ choice is the Javelin with Power Mule, Refractor Shield, Melter Bombs, and Melter Bombs. The second HQ choice is Master of Signal with Nicotine Axe, Artificial Armour, and a dedicated transport, it's a Democles. The HQ's Master of the Legion is the Praetor with Paragon Blade, Melter Bombs, Artificial Armour, and Mastercrafted Weapon. Accompanied with the Praetor is the Command Squad, equipped with Artificial Armour and Power Weapons. The first elite choice of the Ultramarines is 2 Apothecaries, one of them equipped with Jump Packs. The second elite choice is 10-man Suzerain Squad with 1 Thunderhammer. The third elite choice is a second 10-man Suzerain Squad with 1 Thunderhammer and 1 Marine in the front with the Power Sword is in this case a Legatine Power Sword. The first troop choice is a 10-man Assault Squad with 1 Power Fist and 1 Power Sword in it. Second troop choice is a 10-man Assault Squad with 1 Power Axe in it. The first fast choice of the Ultramarines is a 9-man Legataris Storm Squad with 1 plasma pistol. And the last of the Ultramarines is the heavy choice, 1 Leviathan with the Phosphate launcher and a siege drill and 1 Graflux bombardment.
John, Kim, we are deployed and ready to go. There's not a lot of stuff on table. You both got reserves and deep strike, is that right?
Yes, I have 3 Reaver squads who will be outflanking, and thanks to the Eye of the War Master special rule granted by the Black Reaver Right of War, the Justarian Terminators will be arriving by deep strike.
Oof, and Kim, what have you got?
I got 3 units. I got 2 units of Assault Marines, and I have 1 unit of Legataris Storm Squad with an Apothecary unit.
Great stuff. So those 5 objectives are down. You are quite far apart, so there's going to be a lot of manoeuvring to get into position and score those objectives turn 1. But the Sons of Horus, Wanderer, I'd love to deploy first, go first. But Kim, are you going to seize?
Of course I am.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a friendly handshake, gents. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
And let's have a seize.
Yeah.
Oh, turn 1. Now on to Sons of Horus, turn 1. Sons of Horus, turn 1, movement. The start of the movement phase was kicked off by the 2 dreadnoughts moving up towards the objectives in the centre. They were followed by the tactical squad, which is moving again towards the objectives. It has been joined by the Praetor and Primus Medicae. The Rapier squads have also moved up to try and open up lines of sight further down, and the 2nd tactical squad has branched off to the left, having the Praetor and Medicae departed them, and they are heading towards another objective on the left. Sons of Horus turn 1 shooting phase. With no targets in line of sight, the Sons of Horus have continued their remorseless advance up the table towards the objectives. 1 tactical squad ran 3 inches, the 2 dreadnoughts, the Leviathan advanced 3 inches, the Contemptor advanced 2 inches. 2nd tactical squad, having been joined by characters in Cataphractii armour, could not run, and the Rapiers could not run either.
The Ultramarines first movement turn. The Ultramarines move close to the objectives to claim it, and the Leviathan move behind it to give it some support. The 2nd Suzerain squad run around the other side of the building to get closer to the Leviathan, and the Democles stand still with the Master of Signal. The command squad move ahead. The Ultramarines first shooting phase. The Master of Signal shot the bombardment on the tactical squad, but it scattered 8 inches and hit the Leviathan 2 times, 1 pen, and it immobilized. 2nd unit was the Democles, was shooting at the tactical squad, but the dice scattered, so nothing hit it. This is the end of the shooting phase of the Ultramarines. There is no more units that can hit the Sons of Horus, and I'm pretty happy with the end of the turn, where I 1 immobilized Leviathan.
Sons of Horus turn 2 movement phase. 2 squads of Catiline Reavers arrive outflanking on the left side of the table, heading towards the objectives, 1 squad heading towards the Suzerains. The tactical squad has moved up towards the objective. The Leviathan is immobilized and therefore not moving. The other tactical squad has moved up the centre of the board. The Primus Medicae and Praetor have joined the Rapiers, which have also moved up, and the squad of 10 Justarian has arrived from deep strike by the bunker, with the Contemptor Dreadnought moving up to gain a bead on the Suzerains. Sons of Horus turn 2 shooting phase. Despite the bonus to their run moves from encirclement, the Reavers got fairly mediocre run moves, moving slightly onto the board with one squad in a position to capture an objective at the start of next turn. The Tactical Marines have continued running up the board towards objectives, and the Kiris has unleashed a hail of firepower towards the suzerains, hitting 10 times, scoring 3 rending hits, 6 wounds, of which 2 suzerains died to rending fire. Overall, a fairly good turn for the Sons of Horus, whittling down those suzerains, getting some reserves on, in a position to hold some objectives next turn.
The Ultramarines, movement turn 2. Deep strike, 2 units in reserve. The first one was Ultramarines, Assault Marines, deep striking behind the line of the Sons of Horus. The second one was the Locataris Storm Squad, deep striking with a little help from the Democulus behind the Reavers. The Command Squad and the Master of Signal move ahead to support the Locataris. The Suzerain move closer to the Reavers, and over here we have the Leviathan move a little closer to the Contemptors. Hopefully he can shoot it. And at the beginning of the turn, the Ultramarine Suzerain Squad kept the objectives on the board and move into the ruins to move closer to the Sons of Horus. Ultramarines shooting phase turn 2. The Assault Marines was shooting at the artillery, 10 shot with the bolters, 2 hits, 1 crew member dead. The second unit shooting in this shooting phase is the Locataris arriving for deep striking. Can shoot twice, so that shot 18 shot to the Reavers in the back, killing 2 of them. The rest of the shot the chieftain took. Then the plasma pistol shot and 1 hit but misses. The third squad shooting was the Command Squad shooting at the Reavers. 3 shots was made but rolled 3 once. The Leviathan was shooting with the Grabfox bombardment on the Contemptor. It was a hit but failed to do any damage on it. The final end of the shooting phase, the Suzerain run 2 inch in the ruins. The assault phase turn 2 for the Ultramarines. The Suzerains was assaulting the Reavers. They needed a 7 and they rolled a 7. The Overwatch was unaffected and the Suzerain made the charge. The Suzerains was attacking with initiative 4. They had 24 attacks and they had 5 cutting strikes, enough to kill the rest of the Reaver squad.
Before the Reavers were cut down by the legatine axes of the Invictus Suzerains, the 2 with chain axes managed to strike back, hitting 3 times, causing 3 wounds, all of which bounced off the artificer armor of the Invictus Suzerains. After
a fantastic victory over the Reavers, the Suzerains roll the 2 inches consolidated move into cover. After the Ultramarines turn 2, they score 1 objectives and they kill the Reavers. I'm pretty happy with this turn.
Sons of Horus turn 3 movement. The last squad of Reavers comes on from reserve, outflanking close to Damocles Rhino, ready to unleash Melter Hell on the command tank. Further down the board, the tactical squad has moved up to cement their hold on that objective, which was previously controlled by the squad of Power Fist Reavers, who have moved up the board. The Leviathan, again, remains immobilised and has stayed in place. The second tactical squad has again advanced up the centre of the board. The Justarin have moved through cover a whopping 2 inches, and the Rapier carriers have separated off from the Master of Signals and will be snap firing at the Leviathan. Sons of Horus, turn 3, shooting phase. The Master of Signal, separated from the Rapiers, fires an orbital bombardment at the assault squad. Fortunately, it scatters 12 inches, moving off the board. The Rapier squad then opens up on the Leviathan, scoring 1 hit, even though they're snap shooting, causing a penetrating hit, which is saved by the adamantic shielding of the Leviathan Dreadnought. Next up to shoot are the Justarin Terminators, with 2 multi-melters in range of the Leviathan Dreadnought. Both hit, both cause glancing hits, both again bounce off the reinforced adamantic shielding of the Leviathan. Continuing the shooting phase for Sons of Horus, the tactical squad in the middle of the board turns around and opens up on the Assault Marines. 6 are within rapid fire range, and due to death dealers, they score 8 hits, 8 wounds, and kill 1 Assault Marine. The remaining 4 open up and kill a second Assault Marine. The second tactical squad also opens fire on the Assault Marines. With the merciless precision of the Sons of Horus, they score 10 hits. However, this only translates into 3 wounds, all of which are saved by the power armour of the Assault Marines. Opening fire with a hail of lead across the street towards the Invictus suzerains, the Contemptor Mortis scores 11 hits, yet no rends on the Invictus suzerain squad. Of these 11 hits, there are 11 wounds, which transfers into 2 failed armour saves, although the Apothecary does good work, keeping both alive with Feel No Pain. The outflanking Reavers, sensing a chance to get a kill on a command unit, as the edge of the spear via a melter gun, a plasma pistol, and throw a crack grenade at the Damocles Rhino. The melter gun misses, but the plasma pistol and crack grenade both cause glancing hits, stripping 2 hull points from the Damocles Rhino. Finishing the Sons of Horus shooting phase turn 3, and indeed turn 3 overall for the Sons of Horus, the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought opens up at the suzerains in the building. It manages to hit with the Storm Cannon 5 times, but causing no damage, and the Volkite, although they get a wound through, yet again the Apothecary pulls through, reattaching the exploded limbs and preventing any damage from happening. Overall, I'd say a relatively disappointing turn from the Sons of Horus. The scatter from the Master of Signal, wasted an ordnance shot. Not getting any damage through on the Leviathan at all was quite disappointing. Bit of damage to the Assault Squad, not as much as I'd hoped. I'd say the most successful thing was the Reavers shooting at the Damocles Rhino. So hopefully they'll do better next turn.
The Ultramarines movement phase turn 3. The last Assault Squad came in for reserve. Via the help with the Damocles, it didn't scatter and entered close to the objectives. The second unit movement was the Command Squad, moving closer to the Reavers, trying to shoot them and maybe assault them. The third squad was the Suzerains, moving closer to the Reavers. The Locutaris was using the jump packs to get closer to the tactical squad. The last Assault Marines was getting closer to the artillery. And then the Leviathan moved closer to the Terminators. And the Suzerains was moving 2 inches in cover, closer to objectives. Starting shooting phase, turn 3 for the Ultramarines. The Damocles was shooting the trending boulders at the Reavers. 3 hits, 1 killed. Afterward, the Command Squad was shooting bolt pistols at the Reavers. 3 hits and no killed. The Suzerain was shooting at the Reavers with the bolt pistols. There was 7 shots hit and 4 of them wounded, but only 1 killed. The Locutaris Storm Squad was shooting at the Tactical Squad with 9 bolt pistols and 1 plasma pistols. And all of them hit, but only 5 of the bolt pistols was wounding and 2 of them killed the Tactical Squad. The Assault Marines were shooting at the artillery with the bolt pistols. Only 3 was hitting the artillery and 1 wounded. The last shooting was the Leviathan shooting at the Terminators with the Grab Fox bombardment. There was 6 hits, and only 5 to wound. But he saved all of them with the Involver saves. Last made a run with the Suzerains inside the ruins, then run 4 inch. Assault phase of the Ultramarines turn 3. There was made 4 assaults. All of them where the Overwatch was unaffected. The first one was the Command Squad attacking the Reavers. The second was the Locutaris Storm Squad attacking the Tactical Squad. The third was the Suzerains attacking the Reavers. And the last one was the Assault Marines attacking the artillery. The first attack was the Assault Marines attacking the artillery. A lot of attack was going into the artillery crew. They couldn't force all the attacks, so they went down, killed. The attack back didn't wound any of the Marines. And they consolidate 1 inch. The second assault in the assault phase was the Suzerain attacking the Reavers. They came in with 18 Ligatine Axe assault. 2 of them was cutting strikes, so 2 killed. The chaplain was helping with the rerolls, so they got additional hits, so there was enough to remove the rest of the Reaver for the board. The suzerains then consolidate 1 inch closer to the Sons of Horus lines. Then the third assault was the Locutarus Storm Squad attacking the Tactical Squad. There was 7 hits, but only 5 managed to wound, and 5 killed.
Striking back at Initiative 4, the Sons of Horus managed to land 5 hits from 9 attacks on the Locutarus Storm Squad, causing 4 wounds, 1 of which gets through their 2-up Artificer armour, but is then saved by yet another pesky Apothecary.
The Ultramarines won the combat against the Tactical Squad with 5. The Tactical Squad didn't manage to the leadership test, so they ran. The Ultramarines tried to sweep them under the movement, but didn't manage, so the Tactical Squad moved 6, and the Locutarus Storm Squad then consolidate 4 inch. The last attack was the Command Squad with the Master of Signal charging into the Reavers. All the attacks was hitting, but only the Power Sword was wounding the Reavers, and 4 of them was wounding. 1 killed the normal Reaver with the Melter Gun, and the last one of the 3 hits, the Chieftain took all the hits.
Attacking back at Initiative Step 4, 2 Reavers with chain axes managed to land 4 hits, 4 wounds, but none make it through the Artificer armour. Attacking at Initiative Step 1, being outnumbered, Merciless Fighters does not apply, so the Reaver Chieftain attacks back 4 times with his Power Axe. He hits twice, but he fails to wound. Sons of Horus lost combat by 1 point, but passed their leadership test, remaining locked in combat with the Command Squad for another turn.
The Ultramarines, turn 3, did a great job. They removed some few squads for the table, and it's all going well for the Ultramarines.
Sons of Horus, turn 4, movement phase. The Master of Signal backs cautiously away from the assault squad, whereas the Justarin move 3 inches through cover to get closer to them. The Tactical Squad again moves through cover to get closer to the objective, while the Contemptor Mortis moves away from the Leviathan Dreadnought. My Leviathan is again still immobilised, so remains where he is. The fleeing Tactical Squad regrouped and has backed a little further away from the Locutarus Storm Squad. And at the far end of the board, still locked in combat with the Command Squad, the last Reaver Squad stays in place. Sons of Horus, turn 4, shooting phase. Starting the shooting phase, the depleted and recently regrouped Tactical Squads opens fire on the Locutarus Storm Squad. Snap firing, still managed to get 2 hits, but failed to wound with any of them. The second Tactical Squad opens fire using Death Dealers on the Assault Squad. They managed to get 9 wounds, which causes 4 deaths, including the Sergeant in his Artificer armour. Next to fire is the Mortis Contemptor Dreadnought, opening up at the Ultramarines Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. Despite hitting 11 times, it fails to get through the dense ceramite plating of the Leviathan Dreadnought, causing no damage whatsoever. Next to fire is the Sons of Horus' own immobilised Leviathan, opening up on the Invictaris Suzerains. It hits 6 times with the Storm Cannon, causing 5 wounds, all of which bounce off the hardened plate Artificer armour of the Suzerains. It also scores 1 wound with a Volkite Caliber, although the Apothecary manages to save this with a Feel No Pain salve. Next up, the Master of Signal opens fire with his Volkite Serpenter at the Assault Squad, missing entirely. The Justarin Terminators have chosen not to shoot at the Assault Squad, as it will make their charge harder if they manage to kill any, and they're hoping that they will fail on morale and they can use them to leapfrog across the board through charging. Sons of Horus, turn 4, assault phase. Needing a 6-inch charge to get into range with the Assault Squad, the lumbering cataphracti-clad Justarin Terminators manage to roll a 5-inch charge and fail to get into combat, although they take no damage from the Overwatch fire from the Assault Squads. The only combat remaining is the Catilan Reavers versus the Command Squad at the back of the table. Combat between the Catilan Reavers and the Command Squad and Master of Signal starts with the Command Squad and Master of Signal attacking at Initiative 5.
There was all attack was hitting, but only 3 power weapons was wounding, but all the wounds were saved by the Chieftain. Striking
at Initiative 4, the 2 Reavers with chain axes land 4 hits and wounds on the Command Squad, killing 1 member of the Command Squad. At Initiative Step 1, the Reaver Chieftain attacks 4 times with his Power Axe. He hits 3 times, he gets 2 wounds through, which ends up causing 1 wound on the Master of Signal, who blocks the other with his Refractor Shield. Despite losing by 2, the Command Squad and Master of Signal remained in the fight, leaving that combat tied for another round. Overall, pretty disappointing not to get the charge off with a Just Air-In, although I did manage to score a victory point at the start of the turn with a Just Air-In. I'm in place to score another victory point at the start of my next turn. I was hoping to rout the Assault Squad, could have done better, but in a good position for next turn.
Ultramarines movement phase, turn 4. The Assault Marines move closer to the objectives. The Leviathan closer to the Contemptors. On the other side of the board, in the middle, you can see the Suzerains were staying where they were. On the other side, the Locutarus Storm Squad moved closer to the Tactical Squad. The Assault Squad, what was left of that, was going closer to the Tactical Squad. And the Suzerains moved closer to objectives. The start of this turn, I got 3 objectives, so that's 3 victory points. Ultramarines shooting phase, turn 4. The 4 Assault Marines were shooting with the bolt pistol at the 3 Tactical Squad. There was 3 hits, no wounds. The Locutarus Storm Squad was shooting at the 10-man Tactical Squad with bolt pistols and 1 plasma pistols. There was 4 hits, no wounds. The Suzerain Squad opened fire on the Tactical Squad. They shot with 10 bowlers, and there was 6 hit and 2 killed. The Leviathan shot 3 weapons, the Volkites, the Grave Flux Bombardment, the Phosphex Charger into the Terminators. All of them was a success. 6 was hitting, but only 3 Terminator was killed. The last of the shooting while the Ultramarines was the Suzerains, who was firing 8 bolter shots to the Tactical Squad. 4 shots was hit and only 1 was killed. Ultramarines Assault phase, turn 4. The Assault Marines was attacking the Tactical Squad. The Tactical Squad made overwatch and killed 1 Marines. Back they had the Hammer of Wrath and killed 1 Tactical Squad. The next unit assaulting was the Locutarus Storm Squad, assaulting the Tactical Squad. They had 8 Hammer of Wrath and killed 1. The overwatch didn't have any effect of the Locutarus Squad. The first assault with the Assault Marines attacking the Tactical Squad went well for the Ultramarines. They was attacking at the initiative 4, both of them, but the Sons of Horus didn't manage to hit any of the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines was hitting them back and killed the last 2 of the Tactical Squad. The Assault Squad consolidated 2 inches and moved through against the Master of Signals. The Locutarus Storm Squad was attacking the Tactical Squad. They managed to get in 7 hits and they killed 5 Space Marines.
Striking back at Initiative 4, the 5 dead Tactical Marines and the Tactical Sergeant managed to cause no damage at all to the Locutarus Storm Squad. Losing combat by 5, the Tactical Sergeant survives the sweeping advance and flees a mighty 12 inches back towards his board edge, and the Locutarus Storm Squad consolidate 5 inches.
The last assault in this phase was the Command Squad, and the Master of Signal is fighting against the Reavers. The Legatine Axe managed to get 1 cutting strike and kill 1 Reavers.
Sons of Horus fighting back, Initiative Step 4. Reaver with Chain Axe causes 2 wounds, but both bounce off the armour of the Command Squad. At Initiative Step 1, the Reaver Chieftain steps in, swinging his Power Axe, manages to kill 1 member of the Command Squad, resulting in tied combat, which is ongoing.
This is the end of Ultramarines turn 4. I wipe out 1 of the Tactical Squad, and the other one is almost done, so I'm pretty happy with this turn.
Sons of Horus, turn 5, movement phase. Conscious this may be the last turn of the game, the Contemptor Dreadnought has moved up to clear its line of sight onto the Assault Squad, currently sitting on the objective. The Justarian Terminators have moved danger close to the Locutarus Storm Squad. The Master of Signals has moved up to put him in range with his Volkite Serpenter of the Locutarus Storm Squad. The immobilised Dreadnought remains immobilised, and the last Tactical Sergeant has rallied and has moved 3 inches closer to the Invictaris Suzerains. Sons of Horus, turn 5, shooting phase. Opening up with its twin Kyries assault cannons, the Contemptor Mortis fires at the Assault Squad sitting on the objective. Of 11 hits, it causes 1 rending wound and 4 regular wounds. This kills one Assault Marine as the remaining 4 wounds bounce off the Assault Marine's power armour. Next up in the Sons of Horus shooting phase, the Leviathan Dreadnought opens up on the Suzerain squad, the only unit it can damage in its firing arc. Using its Storm Cannon, Melter Gun in its Siege Claw, and its Volkite Calibers, it inflicts 2 casualties on the Suzerain unit. Next up for the Sons of Horus, the Tactical Squad Sergeant opens up with his Combi Plasma at the Suzerains, determined to inflict some damage for his inevitable demise. Snap firing, he nevertheless manages to hit and kill a Suzerain. The Master of Signal and Justarin open up on the Loki-Tara Storm Squad with a mixture of Combi Bolters, Volkite Serpentas, Volkite Chargers and a Multi-Melter. They manage to kill 3 of the Loki-Tara Storm Squad with their combined fire. Combining fire, the Master of Signal and the Justarin Terminators, including the Praetor and Primus Medicae, open fire on the Loki-Tara Storm Squad. A withering hail of fire, which nevertheless is mostly blocked by the Artificer armour of the Loki-Tara Storm Squad, resulting in only 2 deaths. Sons of Horus, turn 5 assault phase. The Justarin charged at the Loki-Tara Storm Squad, Overwatch being ineffective, missing completely. The Legion Praetor for the Sons of Horus has issued a challenge which was accepted by the strike leader for the Loki-Tara Storm Squad. At initiative step 6, the Praetor strikes in the combat, landing 2 blows on the Loki-Tara Storm Squad leader, 2 wounds, one of which is passed by Feel No Pain, the other kills off the squad strike leader.
The Loki-Tara strikes back on the Terminators. They got 5 hits, but no wounds.
At initiative step 1, attacking with 6 Power Axes, 1 Chain Fist and the Thunderhammer of the Primus Medicae, the attacks from the Justarin are enough to kill 7 of the Loki-Tara Storm Squad. Finally, due to the merciless fighter's rule of the Sons of Horus, the Praetor gets to make an extra attack. Stepping in with his Paragon Blade, he beheads the final Loki-Tara Storm Squad, and the Cataphractii Justarin consolidates 6 whole inches. Final combat of turn 5, Sons of Horus turn. The Reavers and the Master of Signal are in combat. The Master of Signal and the Command Squad fail to cause any damage to the Reavers. Reaver Chieftain, in turn, swings into Master of Signal, kills him, winning the combat by 1. The Command Squad pass their leadership test, remain locked in combat. For the end of turn 5, Sons of Horus, my most successful turn yet. Taking out a few of those Suzerains was nice. The Justarin curb stomping the Loki-Tara Storm Squad was very entertaining to watch after the damage they've dished out to me. Unfortunate not doing much damage to the Assault Squad with Akiri's Contemptor. Otherwise, I'd say that was a relatively successful turn in terms of killing.
Ultramarines movement phase, turn 5. The Assault Marines move closer to objectives. Leviathan is moving closer to the Contemptors. And we have the Assault Squad moving closer to the last Tactical Squad. And the Suzerain Squad with the Praetor is moving closer to the Terminators. The shooting phase of Ultramarines turn 5 start with the 2 Suzerain Squad, the one in the building and the one close to them, shooting at the Terminators. A lot of shots was fired, but no one was killed. The second unit shooting was the Assault Marines, shooting at the Tactical Squad with the last man, but no one's hit, so no killed. The Leviathan was shooting with the melter gun on the Contemptor. It was a hit, and it hit with a glancing hit, but it managed to save it with a shield. The Ultramarines assault phase turn 5. The Leviathan was assaulting the Contemptor Dreadnought. He's lost all the Overwatch, no hitting. The Leviathan was killing the Contemptor with the Siege Drill with 4 pens, and exploded with 2 of them. 2 of them was taken by the shield. The 3 Assault Marines was attacking the lone tactical sergeant, but they killed him with the Hammer of Wrath. The Suzerain was assaulting the Terminators. The Terminator was unable to make any Overwatch, so the Suzerain was getting it with the assault. The Ultramarines was issuing a challenge of the Praetors, so the 2 Praetors was fighting against each other. The Ultramarines was striking at initiative 6 at the same time as the Praetor from the Sons of Horus, but he strikes first and he got one wound of the Praetors.
Striking back at initiative 6, the Sons of Horus Praetor hits 3 times with his attacks. He causes 3 wounds. 2 of these bounce off the Iron Halo, and the Apothecary saves the last one with Feel No Pain.
Next strikes is Initiative 5. The Chaplain was hitting with the Power Mule, and he was hitting and hit with 4, but no wounds went through the armor of the Terminators. The next step was Initiative 4, and we start with the Apothecary hitting the Terminators. He hit with 3 hits, but only 1 went through and wounded one of the Terminators. The next in Initiative 4 was 5 Suzerains with 20 attacks. They hit with 5 cutting strikes, and because of the Chaplain, they got a reroll on the dice and got an Initiative 11 attacks. And to wound, I rolled 9 wounds, and 3 of them went through and killed 2 Terminators. In Initiative 1, the Suzerain with the Thunderhammer was attacking the Terminators. 4 hit was made, only 1 was wounded, but the Terminator passed the Terminator save.
Attacking back, the Justarian hit with 4 power axes. Of the 8 attacks, they cause 3 wounds. 2 of these are saved by boarding shields, and 1 is saved by Feel No Pain. Also at Initiative Step 1, thanks to Merciless Fighters, the Praetor gets to pile in and make an extra attack. Sadly, even with his mastercrafted weapon, he misses. Striking into the combat with a Thunderhammer and a Chain Fist, the Primus Medicae and the last Justarian attack, sadly only killing 1 Suzerain. Having lost combat, losing 2 Justarian and 1 wound on the Praetor, that's -5 for the Justarian. However, they killed a Suzerain, meaning their leadership testing on -4. Luckily, the Praetor has leadership 10, so they pass on a 6, barely.
And the last assault was the command standard bearer assaulting the Reavers. He was hitting the Reavers, but didn't have any effect on the Reavers. The Reavers was attacking him back and gave him 1 wound. He didn't have to roll for any leadership test because he's fearless with the banner. Overall, it was a good game this turn, and managed to get what I wanted. And this is the last turn of turn 5, so we have to roll if there's a turn 6. 4 ups for turn 6. There's turn 6.
Sons of Horus, turn 6, movement phase. Very little movement left to do. Immobilise Leviathan, everything else locked in combat. The Master of Signal scurries into the bunker and hides, fearing the retribution of the assault squad. Sons of Horus, turn 6, shooting phase. The only model left capable of shooting, the Leviathan, opens fire on the Suzerain squad hiding in the ruins. With its storm cannon and Volkite calibers, it manages to kill 3 Suzerains. Sons of Horus, turn 6, assault phase. Carrying on the combat between the Reaver squad and the command squad, the command squad attack with a power weapon, hitting twice but failing to cause any damage. The Reaver with a chain axe strikes back and kills the last member of the command squad. Moving into the large combat, initially in the challenge. At Initiative Step 6, the Praetors swing at each other. The Sons of Horus Praetor manages to hit and wound twice. Sadly, both of these bounce off the Iron Halo of the Ultramarines Praetor. Striking back, the Ultramarines Praetor wounds 3 times, 2 of which go through, wounding the Sons of Horus Praetor, who is now on 1 wound remaining.
The Chaplain hit back with Initiative 5 on the Terminators. He got 2 hits in, but the Terminators saved both of them. The Suzerains, the 5 with the Legatine Axe, strikes back on the Terminators. There was 15 attacks. 5 of them went through, but only 2 of them wounded. So 1 Terminator is killed. The last one in Initiative 4 was the Apothecary hitting the Terminators. He was hitting with 2 attacks, but no one hitting wounded the Terminators. Going on to Initiative 1, the Suzerain with the Thunderhammer was striking with 3 attacks. 2 of them was hitting. 1 of them was wounded, but the Terminator managed to save them with the invulnerable save.
Also striking Initiative Step 1, the 3 Justarian with power axes swing in with 6 attacks. They cause 3 wounds, all of which are saved by the boarding shields of the Invicterus Suzerains. Attacking at Initiative Step 1 with a Chain Fist and a Thunderhammer, the Primus Medicae and the Justarian manage to kill 1 more Suzerain. The Praetor, again using Merciless Fighters, steps in at Initiative Step 1 and misses his attack on the Ultramarines Praetor. Despite losing the combat by 4, balanced out to 3 after the 1 Suzerain they managed to kill, The Sons of Horus pass their leadership test, requiring 7, getting a 6.
Ultramarines movement phase turn 6. There's not so much to do, but the Leviathan Dreadnought for the Ultramarines move closer to the Sons of Horus Dreadnought. The Assault Squad move closer to the Master of Signal, who's hiding inside the bunker. And then we have the Praetors, who is fighting a battle, and the Suzerains, who's fighting against the Terminators. The rest of the Ultramarines is hiding and securing some objectives. Shooting phase, turn 6. The 3 Assault Marines was shooting against the Master of Signal inside the bunker. There was 3 shots, but no one was hitting the Master of Signal. The Leviathan was shooting with the melter gun against the other Leviathan Dreadnought, but didn't manage to do any damage on it. Turn 6 of the assault phase of the Ultramarines. The Assault Squad was attacking the Master of Signal. The charge went well, but the Overwatch didn't have any effect on the Assault Marines. The Leviathan managed to get in a charge on the Leviathan, but the Overwatch didn't have any effect for the other. Combat between the Assault Marines and the Master of Signal. The Master of Signal strikes first because of the initiative 5. Hit with 2 attacks, didn't do any damage of the Assault Marines. Then the Assault Marines was attacking back with initiative 4. They did 1 damage and 1 wound of the Master of Signal. He then did a leadership test and passed it. The combat between the 2 Leviathan. The Ultramarines was attacking with initiative 5 against the Sons of Horus Dreadnought. He attacked with 4 attacks. 3 of them was hitting. 1 of them was penetrating, and he got a shaking on the damage table. The Sons of Horus was striking back with 2 attacks. 1 of them was making a glance, but the Ultramarines Leviathan took it with the shield. Going to the combat between the 2 Praetors. The Ultramarines Praetor was hitting at initiative 6, the same time as the Praetor for the Sons of Horus. He was striking with 5 attacks, and he was hitting with 4 of them. 1 of them was instant kill. The 3 rest of the attack was going through the armor. He didn't pass the normal attacks, so he killed the Praetor from the Sons of Horus, and the last instant kill was going over to a normal Terminator.
Swinging at the same time as the Ultramarines Praetor, the Sons of Horus Praetor hits with 3 of his 5 attacks. Unfortunately, only 1 gets through the iron halo of the Ultramarines Praetor, and it's not instant death, causing 1 wound to the Ultramarines Praetor.
The Chaplain was hitting at initiative 5. He got 3 attacks, no wounds. Going to initiative 4, the 4 Suzerains and the Apothecary was striking back to the Terminators. The Apothecary didn't do anything, but the 4 Suzerain was attacking with 12 attacks. 3 of them went through, killed 1 Terminator and wounded another Terminator. Going on to initiative 1, the Suzerain with the Thunderhammers was striking first. He has 3 attacks, but no wound.
Finally, swinging at initiative step 1, the Justarian with the Power Axe fails to hit with both of his attacks. The Justarian with the Chain Fist hits once and kills a single Suzerain. The Primus Medicae with a Thunderhammer of his 3 attacks hits once and fails to wound. This results in the Sons of Horus losing combat by 3. Rolling an 11 on their leadership test, they flee and are swept in combat, with the Ultramarines consolidating 4 inches.
This is the end of turn 6 of the Ultramarines. They did very well. Very pleased with the result of the game. And now we were going to count up how many points.
Sons of Horus versus Ultramarines is done, and what a hell of a game it was. There's a lot gone on in that game.
Absolutely, yeah. Very busy game.
Big swirl of combat right at the end that really was, well, it wasn't decisive because it was kind of done by then already, but it was nice to finally do one squad or the other, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But good result in the end, I think, in the combat between the Justarian and the Suzerain, though. They did their business, didn't they?
They did. Well.
I did not see that coming, though.
No, I mean, I've heard stories of Justarian, the warrior elite of the 16th Legion, being horrendously overpowered and then just getting completely dismantled by those Suzerains. It was quite impressive, the work that those guys did.
I think it did help that Kim virtually passed every single feel no pain he needed to make. He passed.
I think I lost one of them. Two of them.
Oh, rub that salt in. You passed an inordinate amount of feel no pains. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. It's a little bit sad for John, but I feel good. But I passed a lot of invulnerable save too. But
you did.
Yeah.
It was a bit cringy because we kind of knew John was working so hard to get through the shields, and it was come to feel no pain, and it was just like 5, 6, 5, 6. It was crazy good. So great rolling though, great stuff. Let's do the scores very quickly before we forget ourselves. It was an absolute trumping for the Ultramarines. We'll start with you as we go on. You scored 9 victory points for the Dominion objectives. You did really well of securing those objectives. There was some that we measured, it was like just a hair's width within, but you managed to get it, so well done. But you also got attrition and warlord.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of dice on you, so give us a roll. What do you got? 9, 10, 11, 12, your final victory point score.
There's no more 6 on the dice. I used it in the game. So.
You absolutely did, yeah. Oh, God. And then the Sons of Horus ended up with 2.
2 whole victory points. I mean, technically that leaves me on 6 because I was 2,496 points, which gives me a 4 victory point. Disability or handicap.
That's a different game system you're bringing in there. That's not 30k.
Okay. So yeah, 2 victory points. So 12-2, which is quite a drubbing for the Sons of Horus.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. This is true. This is very true.
Better than a kick in the pants. Yeah. So good effort there, but a great result for the Ultramarines.
Yeah.
You've got to be pleased with that. You've come all the way from Denmark.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
He's quietly confident.
I'm very happy. Yeah.
Good. Tell me, John, we'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about your game and the reason why you brought back the Reavers.
Okay, so I brought back the Reavers because even though they completely failed to outflank where I wanted them to outflank, these guys managed to put 2 hull points on the Damocles Rhino and then hold up a command squad for, well, they beat the command squad and the Master of Signal. So they fought off 3 power weapons and a Legatine axe, eventually winning in combat. So after the Justarian were whiffing their attacks every single round of combat, landing about 2 hits, which were then bouncing off boarding shields, it had to be the Reavers that I brought back. Tempted to bring back that tactical squad sergeant who survived longer than he had any right to and managed to melt a suzerain with his plasma gun snap shooting, but got to be these Reavers. They did more than they had any right to do.
They did some good work, but I just think you were really unlucky rolling the side you got. I think if you'd got the other side, it would have forced Kim to perhaps move some of his force over.
That was the aim with the outflanking Reavers. The 3 small squads was to kind of, so I could get some and distract and kind of pull some of the suzerains away from the one side where they managed to just rip down that flank and murder everything they came across.
But you use your right of war, the Legion of Astartes rule quite well. You know, you had Death Dealer there, which is a unique thing to available Sons of Horus. You got a lot of few rerolls of your hits because of the Abyss too.
Yeah.
So
not many merciless fighters because the ones that did survive to initiative step 1 had unwieldy weapons. So, but no, I mean I did make use of their. I mean I've not played Sons of Horus before, and I wanted to use as many of their Legion special rules as possible, as many of the Legion specific units as possible, and I did that, and I think they did quite well.
It was a good job.
Yeah,
did a good job. Kim, tell me about your monstrous suzerain squad, please.
Yeah, they did very well. Did actually a little bit better than I thought. I know suzerain is very good, but when you put in a chaplain, an apothecary, and a praetor, is not a nice new unit to use.
It's a beast of a unit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beast. So don't bring it if you don't want to play a normal and fun game.
I think with the Legatine axe in particular, with the 6 to hits, his auto wounds, you got quite a few of those off, particularly when you're in combat with the Justarian Terminators.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of rolls with the Legatine axe in the start with 1 and 2, but because of the chaplain, when I assaulted, I could re-roll, I got a lot of attacks with the Legatine axe.
And AP2 at Initiative 4 is always nasty to come up against.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is very good.
And Cutting Strike on 6s.
Yeah, Cutting Strike on 6s, they are a fantastic unit, but they're costed appropriately, I think. They are not a cheap unit,
No.
And that particular unit would be very expensive, so yeah.
And they are in particularly a very, very attractive unit. There's so many, they're such a custom build, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're beautiful models. Yeah.
They're built from the bottom and up, so I don't think there's only the X and the are used for the normal suzerains. The rest is just parts from other models.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Emperor's Children there, you've got some of Gilman's parts on there, is that right?
Yeah, and the Phoenix Terminators and the normal 40k stuff, and yeah.
They're pretty cool, and the shoulder pads are quite unique as well. Where are they from?
That's from the Phoenix Terminators, but I cut off a little of them, and I put out some Gilman's icons on them too. So
they're very, very cool. And you know, to have 2 units of 10 suzerain walking around the board. I mean, admittedly, the ones in the middle didn't really do much because they were scoring objectives, but this squad with the Praetor and the characters attached, they really did the business for you.
Yeah, they did. But again, if the Reavers were coming out on the other side, maybe the other units in the middle could have done the more in the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sure. I thought it was a really thrilling game. The guys had to work quite hard, I think, to get to each other. You know, we saw the 2 Leviathans, you know, getting the Sons of Horus Leviathan immobilised early on. It was really unlucky, because if that Leviathan had got into that suzerain, they would have just cut them in half.
It would have minced through the suzerain squad, absolutely. I think I maybe brought the Justarian in the wrong place, and even though I started with 4 objectives within easy grabbing distance, I never really quite managed to get onto those objectives. So, yeah, no, it was I think the suzerains are so threatening that I just wanted to stay at my end of the board, just hiding from them. But no, it was quite a complex tactical game, that one. There were some very tricky decisions to make towards the end of the game. A lot of good fun sledging as well, which was nice.
It was good.
Yeah.
I think the Leviathan with the Grav Flux Bombard, I just don't know if it's any good or not.
If you're firing it at anything other than 2 wound terminators with a feel no pain and a 4-up invuln, it's fantastic. I wouldn't fire it at a vehicle ever. It's just 3d3 or 3d6 armor penetration is just abysmal.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. It is very tough. I mean, you could luck out and roll an 18, but it'll never happen. It's such slim chance. However, if you point it at a tactical squad, it'll kill them.
I think it's a good weapon in the respect that it can potentially harm any vehicle in the game, and it is quite devastating against units if you get them, like you say. And I guess it's a weapon that can do a bit of everything, really, can't it? But I never see it roll that well. I don't know. Have you had much experience with it?
No, not so much.
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think if you're going to use it, as like John said, normal infantry unit and maybe light vehicles, you can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't risk firing it at a Rhino myself. If it had Haywire, I'd use it a lot more often. I do use one on one of my Iron Warriors Leviathans because, like I said, against units that have single wounds and poor or no invuln, it will mince them, especially if they're not spaced properly. Sure. I mean, if that assault squad, when it dropped in, if I'd been able to get a grav cannon, they'd have been gone. So
yeah. And we also saw the some phosphex come on the top of your Leviathan as well.
Yeah, one time in the game, and it did well.
It did okay.
18 hits, but only gave about a few.
I think you killed 2 Justarian.
I think you killed in that round of shooting with the Grav Flux with the Phosphex. I think you managed to kill 3 of them. So you did take 3 of the Justarian away in that round of shooting, which, again, they're 2-wound models. They're 4-up invuln. They had a 5-up feel no pain. That's pretty good going for that weapon.
They did shrug off a lot of damage.
They did shrug off an awful lot of damage. Yeah,
did really well.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a fantastic game, and I've taken a ton of photos. So if you'd like to see those photos, they are on the Facebook page for you to go and look at. Now, gents, if anybody out there has any direct questions for you, where can they contact you?
I am on Instagram at Big Sailor Tiny Soldiers. I've not been incredibly active recently, but I'm hoping to get some more stuff up there soon. I've got some Warcry bits, I've got some Iron Warriors, and doing a painting course soon, so hopefully you'll see some better quality stuff on
we shall see. And what have we got for you, Kim?
Yeah, you can find me mostly on Facebook, on the Horus in Denmark group. You can see a lot of the boards I built and some of the troops I made. So.
Yeah, and Kim is also on Instagram. Do you do much hobby on the Instagram?
No,
it's just personal, is it? Okay, that's fine. We'll leave that on. That's fine. But yeah, it's really good to know. Kim has got some amazing boards which he does himself. You know, you've got a lot of the old out of production Zone Mortalis stuff, which is really cool, dissection tables and some of the old tanks and stuff. So yeah, there's some really, really great stuff on there to look at. And I think you're off to an event very soon, aren't you? Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to the Malmö event.
Fantastic.
So in 2 weeks. So I'm going to bring a Stormbird, so that's going to be fun to play with.
God.
I've never tried that before. But
they 700 points, I think, aren't they, Stormbirds? 750?
755, I think, bare bones.
I think it's more. I think it's 850.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But there's one of the first day is 4,000 points.
Right.
And the second day is 3,500 points.
Wow, amazing.
So
that'd be good fun, that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Good. I must say thank you so much for John. He's come in, he's used James's Sons of Horus and Army he's not used before. I think you commanded them admirably, so thank you
very
so much for doing that.
It's been a pleasure as always.
My pleasure. And Kim, you've done some amazing miles. We picked you up from the airport yesterday. You've flown. We've got dinner tonight. We've got a day at Warhammer World, 3 of us together.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Which is really cool. I think you're going to play your Iron Warriors against Ultramarines.
Against the Ultramarines, yeah.
I'm going to sit and watch and maybe build some terrain or something. I'm not quite sure. But you've not been to Warhammer World, have you?
No, this is the first time.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the exhibition. I think there's an Age of Sigmar tournament on.
Yeah, Age of Sigmar doubles on, so we can...
it's going to be wild.
Yeah, we can try and join in with that with some 30k stuff. That'll be fun.
But yeah, so it'll be a good day. So I'm really, really excited for you to see the exhibition and to see Warhammer World. We're going to have some dinner at Bugman's, all the standard stuff. Any purchases tomorrow, gents?
Intended, no. Almost certainly, yes.
Yes.
That's 4-year-old for you.
Yeah, same here. I don't think I'm going to buy anything, but
no,
maybe.
Good to have a poke around.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, gents. Again, thank you so much for your efforts today. I really appreciate it. We're going to go and relax now. I really hope you've enjoyed this game. I'd love to hear your comments below. And as always, we will see you in the next game.